What is innovation in business? What do I mean by innovation or the management of innovation? So, from my perspective, innovation is really, it's really kind of two different things. That there is first the generation of some new ideas and new insights. And this comes from searching for new ideas and new insights in the environment, as well as combining the existing ones that you already have, putting them together and creating something new. So it might be a new product, a new process, something like that. There's also sort of a random component that happens a lot as well that you can't sort of predict. Maybe it's your customers that are going to tell you what to do and to provide some help and stuff like that for what you're doing. Your users, maybe, for example, that you're using, that they're going to provide you stuff to that you couldn't predict, and it's going to be sort of random, right? So there's kind of the search component, the recombination component, as well as the sort of random component that comes from users. And really, what it's supposed to do, what you're trying to do, is generate new ideas. So, innovation in business is generally generating new ideas to help you as a firm or a manager to actually adopt to the environment better. That's called fitness between the organization as well as the environment. And what you're trying to do is create better fitness between what you're doing as the organization and what the environment sort of demands, right? And as you're doing that, it's going to create increased efficiency for yourself as a business, as well as perhaps, greater financial viability and things like that. And financial sort of fitness comes from the reason why you actually make money is you're fitting better to the demands of what people actually want in the environment, right? That's kind of the key thing. So it's kind of like this problem solving process that happens when you do innovation. You're always constantly trying to solve problems to get more increased fitness with the environment. The organization is trying to get better and to solve problems such that it's solving the user's problems, right? So what is the management of innovation? Why is this important? Well, the management of innovation is really just thinking about the sort of creating the organizational structures, the systems, the decision-making processes to facilitate innovation in business. These are really important because it allows you to increase the efficiency of what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to do strategic management of innovation, for example, what you would probably do things like identifying the market, increasing the creativity in your organization, trying to figure out what ideas to actually pick, figuring out the appropriate organizational structure you should have, maybe the strategy that you should have, and then thinking about product development and trying to get things in the market as well as their quality control. There's lots of stuff that goes on with the management of innovation. It's really interesting field. I teach an entire course at my institution on that. Really cool stuff. Super excited about it. And why should you actually look at innovation management consulting firms? Why are they actually useful? They're really useful for a lot of different reasons that you wouldn't sort of estimate, right? So the thing is, for most of you guys that are doing any sort of business, it's really difficult, right? So sometimes you're just running on a day-to-day basis and you're just kind of putting out fires. You don't have time to sort of analyze what you're doing right now. And a innovation management consulting firm can come in and actually do something and to provide advice for you and maybe do some extra work. Or, some of the management consulting firms actually do extra work to implement a new system or something like that. But, maybe they're going to provide strategic direction for you and to give you some insight on where to go. And where does that strategic direction come from? Often it is because they take a sort of higher look at what you're doing and they look at your industry and all these kind of things. It gives you a direction of where to go. So you have kind of a higher picture. The other thing that they do that's really good that we forget is that they analyze hundreds, if not thousands, of different businesses or going into different businesses, getting the best practices in those different businesses and different industries and bringing them into your company, right? So they're going to pick out the things that are good and they're going to be useful, right? So the other thing is, maybe you're a fairly new manager or you got a new company or something like that, and you just don't know how to actually do managing innovation, all these different processes and things like that. And most of us are really newbies, right? We're kind of making this up as we go. And if there's somebody that sort of teaches us and provides help along the way, that's going to be really helpful. So innovation management consulting firms are quite useful for increasing the the areas where you can actually do greater innovation, how to actually increase the innovation of your company, as well as sort of thinking about making it more profitable in the long run, financially profitable in the long run. So when should you actually not use innovation management consulting firms? In general, I think there's a couple of moments where it doesn't make any sense to do innovation management consulting firms. The first one, you're fairly new and you're kind of like young and you don't have a lot of resources. They're going to be expensive. It's not going to be worth your time to actually pursue them. If you had the financial resources, great. That might be a good way. They might give you some tips and stuff like that, but you could probably get a lot of stuff online or in other locations for free, that you don't need these innovation management consulting firms to help you out. The other thing is, and so it might be only useful once you get to, maybe over 8 employees or something like that, where you start running into problems. Most people can kind of run these things when they get up until like 5 to 8 to 10 employees. And then things start falling apart because it gets difficult. And so you might sort of ask somebody and get some help from there. And paying for help is great. Sometimes helps you. And then the other time is if you think things are really running efficiently, then it might not be useful to get any sort of innovation management consulting firm to come in.